Today, we're going to explore a powerful idea that can completely change the way you connect with women, especially as you get older. And here's the part most men never expect. It has almost nothing to do with money, status, or looks. It has nothing to do with flashy confidence or those scripted pickup lines floating all over the internet. The truth is, attraction is often built in much quieter ways. And there are two simple phrases that activate something much deeper in the female mind, something emotional, psychological, and unforgettable. Most men never learn this, and that's exactly why so many interactions fade before they ever become meaningful. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand this subtle shift in communication, you may never speak to women the same way again. For years, I've studied the emotional patterns behind attraction, connection, and intimacy between men and women. And one thing became impossible to ignore. The men women remember are rarely the loudest men in the room. They are not always the youngest, the richest, or even the most physically attractive. The men who leave a lasting emotional imprint are the ones who know how to communicate emotional certainty and emotional safety at the same time. I'm Mary Smith, host of Senior Mindful Living YouTube channel. Now let's talk about the first phrase that changes everything: I want. Simple words, but psychologically they carry enormous weight. When a man says, I want, calmly and confidently, he communicates emotional direction. He shows that he is connected to his desires instead of hiding from them. Women respond deeply to this because it signals certainty, not arrogance, not control, certainty. Think about how many conversations sound like this. Maybe we could hang out sometime if you want. Or, I don't know, whatever you'd like to do is fine. On the surface, those words seem polite, but emotionally, they communicate hesitation. They place all the emotional responsibility onto her shoulders. Now compare that to this. I want to take you to dinner Saturday. I know a place you'll love. Feel the difference? One feels uncertain. The other feels grounded. Women are drawn to men who can create emotional direction because it allows them to relax emotionally. Research in psychology consistently shows that confidence is not about dominance. It's about congruence. Your words, tone, posture, and emotional energy all align. And when that alignment is present, women feel it immediately. But here's where many men make a mistake. They hear this advice and suddenly become overly forceful or performative. That's not what creates attraction. Real masculine presence is calm. It does not rush. It does not pressure. It simply knows what it feels and expresses it clearly. I once worked with a man in his early 60s who believed women no longer noticed him. He had been divorced for years and felt invisible. During one coaching conversation, he told me he often asked women things like, would you maybe want to get coffee sometime? I encouraged him to make one simple adjustment. A week later, he said to a woman, I want to continue this conversation over coffee. Her entire energy changed, not because the words were magical, but because they carried emotional clarity. Now let's move to the second phrase, and honestly, this is the one most men completely overlook. I appreciate. These two words soften and deepen attraction in a powerful way. Because if I want communicates desire and direction, I appreciate communicates emotional depth. Women do not want to feel chosen only for appearance. They want to feel emotionally seen, and this is especially true for emotionally mature women. Complimenting her looks may capture attention for a moment, but appreciating her mind, energy, humor, resilience, warmth, or presence creates emotional memory. Imagine the difference between saying, oh, you're beautiful, versus, I appreciate how calm people feel around you, that's rare. One is surface level, the other feels personal. A woman may forget dozens of generic compliments, but she remembers the man who noticed something deeper about her identity. And here's the fascinating psychological truth behind this. Human beings are emotionally wired to seek recognition, not validation. Recognition. We want to feel understood beyond the surface. When a woman feels emotionally recognized by a man, her nervous system relaxes. She feels safer opening emotionally. That's why the combination of I want and I appreciate is so powerful together. I want to see you again because I appreciate the way you think. Do you hear the balance in that? Desire without pressure, warmth without weakness, masculine direction combined with emotional intelligence. And there's another layer most men miss completely: timing. These phrases only work when they are genuine and emotionally aligned. Women are extremely sensitive to emotional incongruence. In fact, studies suggest that the majority of emotional meaning comes from tone, facial expression, eye contact and body language. So if a man says, "I appreciate you," while avoiding eye contact or speaking nervously, the emotional signal breaks. Women trust emotional consistency more than perfect wording. This is why presence matters more than memorized lines. And speaking of emotional signals, there are also two questions women often ask when they feel attracted to a mature man. These questions seem casual on the surface, but psychologically they reveal much more. The first is, do you spend a lot of time alone? Most men answer this literally and miss the emotional meaning completely. What she's really asking is there space in your life for connection? She wants to know whether you are emotionally available or emotionally closed off, whether your solitude is peaceful, or whether you've quietly disconnected from intimacy altogether. A grounded response might sound like, "I enjoy my own space, but I appreciate meaningful company when the connection feels right." That answer communicates emotional openness without desperation. The second question is even more revealing. What are you looking for these days? This is not small talk. This is a woman exploring your emotional direction. She wants to know if you are alive inside, if you still move through life with purpose, curiosity, and emotional presence. Women are deeply attracted to men who feel internally anchored. Especially after 50, emotional direction becomes more attractive than surface-level charm. And notice something important here. She is not asking whether your life is perfect. She is asking whether your spirit is awake. A powerful answer is not complicated. Something simple like, "I'm looking for connection that feels natural, peaceful, and real." That tells her more about your emotional maturity than any long speech ever could. And maybe this is the most important thing I want you to remember today. Women are rarely testing your perfection. They are testing your presence. Can you notice emotional nuance? Can you stay calm under emotional tension? Can you express desire honestly without becoming needy? Can you appreciate her deeply without losing yourself? Because attraction is not created through performance. It is created through emotional experience. And when a woman feels both emotionally safe and emotionally desired around you, she remembers you. Not for a day, not for a week, but for a very long time. So the next time you're speaking with a woman, pay attention to the emotional space beneath the words. Notice the pauses. Notice the curiosity. Notice the questions she asks. And instead of trying to impress her, focus on creating emotional clarity and emotional warmth. That is what mature attraction really is. Before you go, comment below with the phrase, "I see the signs," if today's message opened your eyes in a new way. And if you want more conversations about emotional intelligence, attraction, confidence, and mindful relationships after 50, subscribe to the channel and join our community here at Senior Mindful Living. Because the truth is, meaningful connection is not something you age out of. In many ways, it's something you finally grow into.